record on the, there we go. Okay. So like I said, what I'll do is I'll try to, I'll just tell you kind of how it came across my plate to do it. And then kind of some of the research that I did, and then how we went about doing it last year and how we're going to be doing it this year. So I was actually at Craig Harvey's house last year for vacation. Well, we had a vacation house about a mile from his house. And so we went over there one night for dinner, John and I said, what kind of advice can you give me? Since I've got, an hour of your time. And I remember him doing a video for our WhatsApp, and oopsies, that's not my child, is it? Okay, good. And he said, what I would do with my guys at the end of the year was I would do a 100-day challenge. And I said, oh, that's pretty interesting. He said, have them focus on one or two things and, really run hard. And so I was right at the verge of hitting RVP, and I took a vacation. And that month, I literally was 3,000 AP like off from hitting RVP. So we needed 150, we did 147. And it was literally that vacation week. Me and John were out of the field, and we could have put us over the edge for RVP. And so I came home with like a little bit of a tear, and I said, we're going to do this challenge thing. We're going to do it. We're going to like rock it out. And so I started doing a little bit of research, and I came across this guy named Gary Ryan Blair. And he actually does like a legit 100-day challenge. And I started researching a little bit about how he does it. I actually paid for this program. It was like $200 for the program. I would not recommend paying for the program. However, I did get some of the materials from the program that we're going to be able to utilize. So it was worth it, but kind of put my own tweaks on it. But during that challenge, I had multiple people hit promotions. I hit a promotion. People grew, they talk about it. They're excited for it. They've been waiting for it. So it's a really good momentum builder and muscle builder. And just, it's fun and exciting, and people get to do it together. That was the other beautiful thing, is that what you'll realize is that a lot of people are running for the same promotions, or they're having the same goals. And so they get to be accountable to you, and then to their whole community within your team that's doing the challenge. And they get to do these things together. And so that's what I really loved about it. So I'm going to share my screen, kind of go over some of the things that we hone in on, and then some of the material, and then I'll send out the material that you guys can use, pick and choose at your leisure what you want to use. So bear with me one second. Okay, share my screen. Okay, doke. Okay, so hopefully you guys can kind of read this chicken scratch a little bit. But the first thing about the challenge is that it's absolutely optional. I did not want to make it to where obviously it's mandatory, but what I found out was last year when we did it, we had like 28 writing agents, and we had about 18 to 20 folks that stayed on and did it. So a lot of people they did it. It wasn't like 2 or 5 people. It was a good amount of folks, which I thought was awesome. So it's optional, but I still try to stress the importance of being involved and getting some of those people that are out of their comfort zone to commit to doing it. So even if they're like on the verge, like having talks with people who are on the verge and say, hey, I can't make you do it, but tell you what, it would literally grow you. It's going to help you reach some of these promotions, these goals, grow as a person, but it is optional. Number 2 is it's extreme accountability. So it's basically, so if you're a manager on here, those things that sometimes that you feel like you want to say, but you really can't say because you're not a boss. Well, this kind of allows you to be that way and really kind of like tap into the things that, they're giving you permission. This is them telling you, hey, you've got permission to kick my hiney if need be. So that's one thing I like about it, because it kind of just takes that veil off to where, it's not me coming down on them. It's them saying, hey, I'm a part of this challenge. And, I think about it as someone that does what Charles's wife does, that burn boot camp, where you're like legit throwing up sometimes from working out so hard. Same thing here, because you've got that coach that is like in your face, where you can like smell their breath and, the spit's hitting you or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Next thing is that it's not all of these different goals. It's one goal. The 100-day challenge is about one goal. Now, sometimes, like, the more that you do, if you do the challenge multiple times, over the course of a couple of years, you might be able to throw in another goal or two. But it's really about one specific goal that's completed in a 100-day span. And what the challenge is supposed to do is to show you that a lot more can be done in 100 days than what most people think can be done, right? But you have to be, extremely committed to that one goal. Then the goal is broken down into 5 actionable items. So basically, you take that one goal and you break it into 20-day increments. And I'll kind of show you this form real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is some of the material that I had to pay for, but it's called the 135 goal sheet. So the first thing that they do is they write their one goal down. They give 3 reasons why, priorities, why they want to achieve this goal. I want to achieve this goal because it's going to put more money in my bank account. I want to achieve this goal because it's going to prove to myself that I can attain $10,000 in deposits if that's the goal. Or, it's going to get me to my next promotion. 3 reasons why. That's written down. And then these are your 5 actions. So basically, if it's 100 days, you've got target day 20, day 40, day 60, day 80, and day 100. So if we, like, our team is starting on September the 1st, we end on December the 9th. So they get to write down, okay, by whatever 20 days is from September the 1st, so September the 20th, what are they going to accomplish by September 20th, right? That's going to help them get to their goal. So you want this to be, it's like a compound effect. So if anyone's ever read the book by Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, how it's those small things that, that are buildable over time is what snowballs to make things happen. So it's the same thing when you have these action plans. So you might start out with something like, if your goal is to do 10,000 net production, a really great first action plan might be to do, 15 presentations a week for the first 20 days. Write down how many presentations that is. Let's say, I'm just throwing it off. Let's say it's 50 presentations. So your first goal is to get 50 presentations under your belt in the first 20 days. Because what does that do? That builds your momentum and it increases your activity so you can actually get more net production, right? So you want it to be buildable. And so it takes a lot of thought. This is not something that you can just, throw together. It took me the last year, I got everybody's goal sheets and there was some confusion, or trying to help them narrow down what their goal is and what those actions are. And so you spend a lot of time, with each individual agent, but they're learning so much by you doing that. And so, they would have those actions and then it's written down, okay, that are buildable. And by the day 100, your main goal, boom, the last thing that you'd want to do to get you to your final goal. So this is what they fill out. They send to me. I've got a folder that has their name that says 100-day challenge. Okay. That's the first thing. Now, these are some of the other forms that you can utilize. I'll tell you which ones that I'm utilizing. I'm obviously utilizing this page. One second. Oopsies. Let me delete that. Okay. This right here is also a commitment where, admit Michaela again. This right here is also a commitment that you can write to yourself, right? I hereby commit to achieving this goal. I plan thoroughly, act boldly, and be accountable for my actions. I will focus on results and reinforce the values of discipline, character, perseverance until success is achieved. I will make sure that everything I think, say, and do counts. I will achieve this goal by this deadline. So that's for, you to keep for yourself. That self-reflective of, hey, I'm trying to hold myself accountable to this too. This means something to me. You can do that one. This right here is an after action review. So at the end of the 100-day challenge, you can actually, rate yourself on how well you did with the challenge. So what was your outcome? Did you hit your goal? What strengths did you identify in yourself? What weaknesses did you identify? And what other actions can you do moving forward to help you continue to get to that goal? So it's beautiful. And so I gave my team the 135 goal sheet. This one's not really much. It's your top 5 goals. It kind of helps you if you want to do this. It helps you you just write down 5 goals, and then it just kind of helps you brainstorm what's the most important goal for you. So that's what that sheet is. Let's see. Okay, and then it's right here. When I sent my team yesterday their 135 goal sheet, they have a week to figure out what their goal is, and then we meet next week on our Zoom, and they've got to tell everybody what their goal is. They've got a week to figure it out. But I also sent this to them, which is the 7 core values of the 100-day challenge. So I had them rate themselves 1 through 5. 1 needs improvement, 5 is highly proficient on these core values of the challenge. So are you accountable? 1 through 5. Are you accountable? How consistent are you? Are you disciplined? Rate yourself on your discipline. Rate yourself on your focus. Rate yourself on how well you meet deadlines, your perseverance, and how fast you would achieve things. That way, going into the challenge, you've said out loud what you believe your strengths are and what you believe your weaknesses are. And so things that are going to, quote, be your blind spots. And then you're allowing that for your coach to be able to know as well when it comes to coaching throughout the challenge. So that's kind of getting started. Anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. All right. So after you kind of do all of the dirty work of figuring out what your goal is, writing it down and organizing it, there's a few things that we do throughout the 100 days. So the first thing is an accountability call. So every week on Mondays from September the 1st to December the 9th, we're going to do a Zoom call every Monday at 8 p.m. And this is what kind of goes into the Zoom call. So the first Zoom, they will share what their goal is. So everyone that's there, when they show up, that's them saying, hey, I'm doing the challenge. My goal is to hit SM1 in 100 days, or my goal is to, sorry, my dog's up there barking. My goal is whatever the goal is. So they're going to tell everybody. So you're held accountable to me and then to the entire team that's doing it. After that, your weekly accountability Zoom, it'll be like a 5-10 minute teaching, something that's related to compound effect, what the compound effect does, right? How we build on, these small little decisions that we make, right? That get us closer to our goals. Or if it can be anything that I feel our team is necessary where they're at, that's going to be beneficial for them over the course of the 100 days. So 5 to 10, 15 minutes of that. I don't want to spend too much time on the accountability call. And then it's a roll call. And on the roll call, if you're an agent, you're going to give last week's presentation count. So if you did 15 presentations, you'll say, hey, 15 presentations last week, and I did 4,000 premium, okay? And then if you are a builder and you've got a builder goal, you're going to give a little bit more accountability. So you're going to give what your AP was for the last week. So we're not AP, and then you also give your presentation count. If you did 10 presentations, 3,500 AP. And then there's 3 things that you can roll call as well. You can roll call how many new hire calls you did. You can roll call how many ride-alongs you did, or how many contracted agents that you had that week. Obviously, in the world of building, some weeks you're going to have more new hire calls. Some weeks you're going to have more going into contracting and all of that. So wherever you're at in the process, you are going to, roll call that. Now, on this accountability call too, since it's weekly, can y'all hear my dog? No, you're good. Okay, sorry. So sorry. Can you keep the dog quiet? Because all I can hear is him. Sorry. Y'all, it's a madhouse in this house sometimes. So also on the calls, when we have a week call that is in line with the 20-day increments. So if you have like the 20-day, hold on 1 second. 1 second, sorry. Can I mute myself over here so I can yell at them? Okay, I think they heard me. Okay. All right. So the dog's gone. So when we have our 100-day or our 20, when our call falls on a week that we've got the 20-day or the 40-day or the 60-day or the 80-day, you're also going to say what that action item was and if you hit it or not. So if it was, you needed to do 50 presentations by day 20, and it's the following Monday of the 20th day and we're on roll call, you're going to say, hey, I did 10 presentations. I have 4,000 AP. My 20-day action item was 50 presentations. I did 47. Okay. Or whatever the case is, if you hit your action item. So you're held accountable, extra accountability to hit your action items every 20 days. So that's the call. And then the other thing that we do on a daily basis is the WhatsApp. So every morning on the WhatsApp between 6:30 and 7, I will post some type of motivational or educational video, whether it's from the 100-day challenge app, which there wasn't that much good stuff on there. That's why I don't recommend anyone paying to do it. I would find my own. I would send that. And then everyone that's a part of the challenge, this is happening on the WhatsApp, not a separate chat, because you want the people that aren't doing it to literally be watching and listening and seeing, because it might motivate them to do it the next year, right? Or still create some momentum for them or motivate them. And then they're going to give, when I post from between 6:30 and 7, you need to post 2 action items that you're going to do for the day, whether that's 3 presentations and 1 close, or 3 presentations. And then if you're a builder, 3 new hire calls. So you're calling your shot every morning. And I think I did it by you need to call your shot by 10 a.m. or something like that. And so you'd wake up, and I remember last year, just WhatsApp just blowing up at 6:30 in the morning. It's just like boom, 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 all of these action items that people were going to accomplish. And so it was like this big rally of go out and go after it. So that was the daily goal cast for me. Then post 2 daily actions. At the end last year, we did an oyster roast, and there was 5 people out of the 18, I think, that hit promotions or their goals. And so they got a wine bottle that said 100-day challenge and whatever their goal was. And they got rewarded with that. So that is basically the 100-day challenge in a nutshell. I know there was a lot of information that was thrown at you, but once you get into the rhythm of it, once everyone gets their goals set up, and then it's daily actions on WhatsApp and the accountability call, and your 20-day increments, it becomes simple once you get the groove of it going. It just takes some thought getting it started. So if you wanted to do 90 days, you could do 90 days. It was just 100-day challenge was everything that popped up. And but if you feel like 90 days or 100 days is too much, because it's a lot as a builder and as a manager or a leader, you'll be exhausted. It's exhausting to do because you are holding a lot more people to extreme accountability. You're focused, but it's so rewarding at the end for you as the leader, and then for your team. So let me see if I have any questions that came in the chat.
What I think, I think, guys, this is the whole reason why I had Laura come on. Because I really think for the bigger teams, I think this is, it's a no brainer. If you're if you've got a team more than 5 to 7, 10 agents, I think it's a phenomenal idea. And what if you're on this call and you're a smaller, group of agents? Maybe it's just you and 3, 4, 5 agents. I think, Laura, look, man, you're the monster maker of this thing. I think it might be a good idea to even team up with another group, but I wouldn't go crazy and have 4 or 5 teams on here, because the goal is to kind of keep it intimate from what I've heard. But I do love the fact of post your action shots on, on the WhatsApp, keep, the accountability. I love the call, but again, same concept. I know I just asked a question on there about, hey, look, what if we do this for the front line? I'm going to X that off, because all of you guys, everybody on my front line is a freaking builder. So that means that you're probably going to group up with another team or maybe start at different times. But I love it. I've seen it firsthand, Laura. I saw your psycho, ridiculous chat go wild every freaking morning. And I'm like, this is amazing. But it really does create a really good camaraderie. And if you think like, oh, people only last, for a week. Well, everything is in place to keep this momentum compounding. Like, so you can't honestly, like, you're literally, it's constantly coming back up to you. But the cool thing is, here's a good question, Laura, is what about the person that doesn't get signed on, but then they see all this momentum from all their comrades and then they want to join on 2 weeks later? Can they? What do you recommend?
Absolutely. So people, this is the thing is that like, and it was at first, I racked my brain for about a month, just like, what is the best way of doing all of this? Because, you don't want to piss people off. You don't want to demotivate them. There's a lot that can, because it could go both ways. So what I will say is that I did not have a lot of people drop off. I didn't, number one, which I thought that there might be, but no one wants to be the person that drops off. Nobody, y'all, nobody. And you can even ask some of the people on my team that did it. They're like, no, I can't go on Monday and report that I didn't hit this, or I didn't do this, because that's embarrassing. It's one thing for them to be embarrassed with you because they're like, you're my coach, whatever. It's another thing for them to be like, I got to go tell my cross line who is out in the trenches just like me that I didn't do something that they might be doing, right? And the people that you're going to have those people that will sit there and watch it, and no matter how fun it is, no matter what, they're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. And you don't treat them any different. You let them be them, if they want to join on, totally okay. You can literally say, hey, you only get 80 days. So you just kind of made it maybe a little bit more difficult for yourself potentially, but hey, that's okay. Totally jump on. If you have someone that you hire in the midst of it, I think I had some of that too. Let them come on, even if they're not even like, people will listen in if they want to get on the Zoom and listen in. If they're new and they're not doing it, let them see that you do the Zoom. Or if they want to get on and they have a smaller thing, then boom, let them do it. So there's no right or wrong. Are you laughing at me?
Oh gosh, I love it because you're getting a text after text after text after text, and we can see it on the screen.
Oh, sorry. And anyway, it's so fun. It's a lot of fun. It is, you will sleep really good at night sometimes too. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And for me, guys, having the baby in the next, I think I have one of my calls I'll have to do on Sunday night if I don't have my baby by the certain day, because I have a C-section scheduled. Said I'm going to do my 100-day challenge Zoom on Sunday this week, because it's going to keep me accountable to everybody while I'm kind of taking, like a hibernation, so to speak, as well. So, it's great for everybody involved. You're everybody. So you'll grow, your team will grow, and it's a lot of fun. So
I love what you did too, because if you guys notice, she stops on December 9th. Okay. So she's very intentional with going crazy for 100 days. And then you can actually enjoy your freaking Christmas season.
Exactly. So that's exactly why I did it, is because the reason why I did it at this time of the year is that this is when people get tired. This is when people lose focus. This is when people, it's harder for them to hold on to their goals. And so if you can help them go across that hump, and they're working hard, and then guess what? From December the 9th through, January 1st, they literally have intentional planned time with their family, and they can recuperate. They can, do what they have to do. And then they're ready to go January 1st, so they won't feel guilty about having lower numbers, quote, at the end of December, because they just came off of a kick-ass challenge. So
I love this. Does anybody else have any more questions? Okay. Laura, man, thank you so much.
You're welcome. What I'll do is Y'all, I'm sweating. My house is like 85 degrees right now. I don't know why. I'll send this to the chat. I've got all of the forms. I'll send all 4 of the forms. You guys choose what forms you want to use. The number 1 form is the 135 goal sheet. And if y'all have questions, seriously, I'm going to be launching this, and like I said, next week, and I can answer whatever questions if y'all have or tweaks or whatever, but super fun. Cool. All right. Well, I'll get that out and I'll see you guys. Oh, let me hold on before I do this. Let me stop the screen share and then stop the recording. Okay.